Welcome to the Rental Podcast, the only podcast that provides news, tips, and strategies for entrepreneurs and managers that want to grow and expand their business using MyRent. This is Mauro, and this podcast is offered by Dogma Systems and MyRentSoftware.com.
Hello to everyone, this is Mauro Chiarugi and this is a new episode of the Rental Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and today we will speak about a new topic, something that will happen in the next days. So PSD2, the new regulation about processing credit card payments. What will change from 1st January 2021? Well, there is a new regulation about processing the credit card payment that will affect the way that you will process the credit card payments. So if you are using the Ingenico integration in MyRent, so you are doing the transaction for the deposit, charging, tickets, fines, damages, rental, everything from the system, you should know that something will change from the 1st January, because you will not allow anymore to generate the token, so the credit card alias, for doing further payments, further charges after the 1st January. The reason is that with the new regulation, it's required that the customer will authorize with his personal device or with his personal code the tokenization of his credit card. The previous transactions were called MOTO, mail order, telephony order, and this name is because the operator was inserting the credit card details in the system, like when you do a phone order with some companies to buy something by phone. Obviously, this kind of a transaction will not allow anymore the companies to create the token, but instead will be required that the customer will explicitly authorize the transaction for generating the token. So what does it mean for MyRent users? It means that when you will do the payments inside the system, the initialization of the transaction will be a little bit different. So the operator will start the transaction, but the customer will complete the transaction from his own smartphone or device or computer, whatever. So at some point will be required that the customer will put his credit card number from his personal device and eventually also his personal code from his device, and will authorize us to do the deposit, the charge, and tokenize the credit card. But let's see how it works. So let's create a rental agreement, and as usual you will go to the payment tab and you will click on virtual POS. Once you click on virtual POS, here you will be able to see any deposit or charge, if any, and then you can start a new transaction. This screen changed a little bit from the previous release, so we just align a little bit the UI and we add a new box for the new feature. But let's see how is it. So in the top left we have the details of the rental agreement transaction, so you will be able to see all the transaction done, if they are MOTO, all the transaction type, or new one, e-commerce, and the amount that is authorized, that is charged or revoked, refund, and so on. In the left we can put the amount of the new transaction that we want to start. In the bottom left there is the new box for starting the electronic transaction that will create also the token for the credit card, while in the bottom right there is the old box that is used for doing the transaction in the old way, so inserting the credit card details. So maybe now you have a question, but you told me that I cannot insert anymore the credit card of the customer. Well, you can still do that. The only difference is that if you insert the credit card, so if you will do a transaction classified as MOTO, This transaction probably, it's not sure 100% because it depends by many things like the bank and so on, but in most of cases this transaction will not create the token. So you will be able to do a deposit and to do a charge, but the credit card data are not saved in the system, and probably you will not be able to do any other charge. So if you want to do the charge and also register these credit card details, so you will be able to do any charge after rental for a damage, a ticket, anything, okay? So you should use the new electronic transaction with the token, this box. Let's see how it works. So for example, the customer arrives, I want to do a deposit of 100 euro, okay? What I will do is to click on Initiate Deposit. As you can see, the user interface here is changed of MyRent because it's showing us a pop-up to complete the transaction. How? In 3 ways: QR code, SMS or email. So it means that the customer can take his smartphone and we can ask him to point to our screen, and taking a shot of the QR code, he will be able to open the payment page from his smartphone and complete the payment. This is the first option. Obviously, maybe you don't want that the customer see your screen, so maybe you do not want that to show your screen, or you cannot because you cannot turn the monitor. So this is just an option. But the second option is to send an SMS. So you can click on Send SMS, and MyRent will send an SMS to your customer containing the link for completing the payment. The third option is to send an email to the customer or driver, I mean, and also this email will contain the link for the payment. Let's see, for example, the SMS. So I click on Send. The SMS arrived. You should have heard the notification. So I click in the link that I received, and now the payment page is loaded in my smartphone, and I can insert the credit card detail. So I put my name, credit card number, the expiration, the code. I authorize the payment, and probably the customer should insert also his personal code. This is not warranty 100% because it depends by the circuit. Sometimes they will ask, sometimes no, to verify that it's not a fraud. So once you have done, the customer will see the notification that the payment is done successfully. Okay, and as operator, I just click on refresh. I will close this window, and now in the contract I will be able to see the new deposit for 100 euro, the transaction that I did now. Of course, I can go again in Virtual POS and do, for example, a charge in the same way. So I can put the amount that I want to charge, 50 euro, I can initiate a charge, and MyRent now will ask me, do you want to use the same credit card or use a different credit card? If I click on use a different credit card, in this case, the customer should again authorize from his smartphone, okay? For giving the authorization to you and to MyRent to tokenize the credit card and use it later. But if I click on use the same credit card stored, automatically I will be able to do the charge. I confirm, okay, and I click on charge. Here it is, payment done for 50 euro. As usual, you have the recap here of what has been authorized, what has been charged, so it's very intuitive to see. The other features are still available, so if you want to do a transaction with Moto, as you did in the past, just click on register and you will be able to do. But obviously I suggest you to switch to the new way to work with the token. I hope this can help you. Of course, we are here to support you if you have any question. Maybe in the beginning could help you also to have a device like a tablet that in case of problem you can provide to the customer to complete his payment. So if the customer doesn't have the internet connection, using a tablet you can open the QR code, take a shot of the QR code, and the customer can complete the transaction from the tablet that is shared, that is available there. Of course, you are responsible that no one is hacking that tablet that you will share. In any case, in most of cases, the customer will need also to insert his personal ID while doing the transaction. That will be the proof that the transaction is authorized by the customer, and it will be stronger than the previous transaction that you were doing in Moto. So it means that the chargeback will be more difficult. It will be more complicated for your customer for asking for chargeback, because the transaction is in 3D secure mode. So stronger for you, better for you. I hope this can help. So feel free to contact us for any additional info, and also we are at the end of the year, so I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year for the best year ever, 2021. See you, bye bye.